Hello, everyone. Welcome to Xiaohe Classroom. This section will introduce the DS400 to control mode of the A6 series servo, based on CAN EtherCAT communication mode. The 7 control modes will be introduced separately, including contour position mode, contour speed mode, contour torque mode, synchronous cycle position mode, synchronous cycle speed mode, synchronous cycle torque mode, and origin regression mode. All A6 series drives support these modes. Just set the parameter P to 0.002 of the drive to 7. The selection of the control mode needs to be set through the 6060 control word. For example, setting 1 is PP mode, and setting 8 is CSP mode. Then you can observe whether the mode is set successfully through the 6061 parameters. Here is the final state machine control command and status feedback by operating 6040. The driver can be switched to a different state, and then the current state of the driver can be monitored through 6041. We will introduce each mode in detail later. Then let's take a look at the introduction to the use of the contour position mode. The contour position mode is also called PP mode, which is point-to-point. In this mode, the upper computer will give the target position absolute or relative, speed of position curve, acceleration, deceleration, and deceleration. The track generator in the servo will generate the target position curve command according to the settings, and the driver will complete the position control. Speed control and torque control. This mode can realize high precision and high efficiency track control. You can understand it as the PLC only sends the position parameter information to the driver, and the execution of the position planning is realized by the driver. Then here are some parameters that we generally use, such as the given parameters of position, speed, etc., and the feedback of state, position, and speed, etc. Here is a list of common object dictionary parameters related to the contour position pattern. 6040 control word meaning introduction on the next page. Let's first look at the following parameters. First, by setting 6060 to 1, the control mode can be set to PP mode. Then the maximum output torque of the servo can be limited by the 607 to parameter. Set the target position through 607A, whether it is relative motion or absolute motion. The position is given by 607A, and the unit is pulse. After you have the position, you need to give the speed and acceleration and deceleration to move, which can be given by 6081, 6083, 6084. Through 607F, the maximum running speed of the motor can be limited, and the speed will not exceed the set value of 607F. For example, the speed given by 6081 is 20,000, but the speed given by 607F is 10,000, so the motor speed is limited to a maximum of 10,000. The last two parameters are read-only parameters. Through 6041, the state of the axis can be read, such as whether the current positioning is completed, etc. And then the actual value of the current position can be seen through 6064. Then this is the specific meaning of each bit of the 6040 control word. I can see it more clearly here. The commonly used bits in the 6040 parameter are bit 0 to bit 5, as well as bit 6 and bit 8. To make the servo run, you first need to connect the main loop power, and the quick stop command is invalid. That is, write 6 to 6040, and then write 7 to 6040 to turn on the servo operation, and then write 15 to enable the servo. After enabling, the driver enters the working state. If positioning motion is performed, you can choose whether it is absolute positioning or relative positioning motion through bit 6. And then bit 5 can choose whether the update command is immediate update or non-immediate update. This will be illustrated later. After giving the position through 607A to make the servo move, you need to give a command through bit 4. In addition, you can also perform a quick stop through bit 2 and a pause through bit 8. If you choose a quick stop, The deceleration will be decelerated according to the 6085 parameter settings. If you choose to pause, the deceleration time will be selected through 605D to pause the stop mode. Then this is the description of the 6041 status word. Through 6041, you can check the current status of the axis, whether there is an error, whether it is enabled, etc. We just mentioned that through the bit 6 of 6040, you can choose relative positioning or absolute positioning movement. Through this diagram, you can better understand the difference between relative positioning and absolute positioning. Absolute positioning is based on the origin, coordinates, and relative positioning is based on the current position. Through this diagram, we can better understand the role of 6040's bit 4, bit 5, and 6041's bit 10, bit 12. Below is the speed change diagram. When 607A gives the position, it needs to be triggered by 6040's bit 4, and the command feedback received by 6041's bit 12 will start to execute. Then 6040's bit 5 has always been 1. It is an immediate update command. During the execution of the first position, a new position instruction is triggered. He will immediately execute the new instruction. The icon on the right is not updated immediately. After the second instruction is triggered during the execution of the first instruction, it is necessary to go back and execute the second position. Instruction after the execution of the first instruction. Here are the different performances of relative positioning and absolute positioning under different trigger methods, such as using absolute positioning mode, using non-immediate trigger mode, first setting the positioning 3000, and then giving the 2000 and 1000 positions to 607A during operation. When the motion is triggered, the driver will still run to the first position 3000, and then reverse to the second position 2000, and the third position will not be executed. If it is an absolute position command, immediately trigger the method, for example, or give the position 1000, minus 2000, 3000 and turn. During the execution of the first section, the second and third sections of the command are triggered, and they will run to the position 1000 first. After receiving the trigger command at the minus 2000 position, they will run to the minus 2000 position immediately. After receiving the command at the 3000 position, they will run to the 3000 position again. When not triggered immediately, we triggered to positions in a row during the execution of the first paragraph, but only the second paragraph was executed, and the third paragraph was not executed because only one position could be cached. If it is a relative positioning mode, in the non-immediate trigger mode, if the three consecutive positions are not 1000, 2000, 4000 respectively, it will run to the 3000E position. If it is triggered immediately, it will be turned to the sum of the three positions, that is, at the 7000 position. Let's take a look at the actual operation in the software. Right-click Device and select Add Device. Select EtherCAT Master and click Add. Then select the added EtherCAT Master. Then you can search here for the name of the slave we want to add. After adding it, first set the EtherCAT port in the main station attribute serial port. It is recommended to use the name to select the EtherCAT port. The PLCs of the EtherCAT port of our PLC are all with one. Case insensitive. You can also choose the EtherCAT port through this side, provided that you establish communication with the PLC first. Check the Auto Restart Slave suggestion below. Then enter the Properties interface of the slave station and add the PDO parameters we need. Check Experts Settings. Then in the Process Data interface, there are a total of 2 sets of PDO, 1 set of input PDO. one set of output PDO, and then each group contains 4 sets of PDO, which can be arbitrarily selected to add PDO parameters. For example, PDO parameters can be configured in 1600 groups. You can add it according to the parameters required in the PP mode mentioned earlier. The configured parameters will appear on the I/O mapping side. In practical applications, the variables in the I/O map can be read and written by programming. Here we directly operate in the I/O map to see the running effect. All green shows here, which means the communication is normal. Then we first make initial assignments to these parameters, including target position, maximum contour speed, contour acceleration and deceleration, and operation mode, etc. Then enter control commands to enable the drive. The drive has now been enabled successfully. Then write 31, that is, bid force should be 1, so that it can perform absolute positioning motion. It has already started running, and the speed will follow the contour speed, and will be limited to the maximum contour speed. You can also enter a quick stop command to stop the drive from moving. Then rewrite the command to run again. You can also know that the location has arrived through the status word. That's all. Thanks for watching.